Alright guys, will be the deck analysis for Rals. Um, there aren't going to be very many games for Ral. I have like one or two that are actually decent to post. The rest are absolutely terrible. I got about 4 cards into the deck, which were these 3 and this one, and just decided to pay the dollar and unlock the deck because it's not that good. But I have to do the deck analysis on it. So, like always, we will add every card to the deck as soon as the cards cooperate, and we will go through and take out all the cards that we don't want. Elixir of Immortality is a really good card, but you only need 1 of it. Just because you gain 5 life and you shuffle back into your library, or from your graveyard into your library. So you shuffle everything back into your library, so it just keeps you from not drawing out. If you get to that situation, it probably is going to come out. But for now, we'll leave 1 in the deck. Lightning Serpent. Trample, haste, enters battlefield with X +1/+0 counters on it. Beginning of your end step, sack it. It's a really good card, lets you do a lot of damage fast. Lightning Bolt's obviously a good burn spell. Shock's a good spell. Spark Elemental is it's essentially Lightning Bolt turn 1. It's a good card to have. Into the Royal is one of your only removal spells, which is the reason I really don't like Ral's deck and decided to just unlock it, is because you really have no removal other than burn spells or bounce cards. And burn spells, you have no mass removal. So if someone, like the last game I just played, decides to go, let me drop, what is it, the 6/1/1s card, whatever it's called, 5 mana, white, 3 white, 2. And put out all those 1/1s, you have absolutely no way to deal with them. Reverberate. Copy target instant or sorcery spell. Choose new targets for the copy. Probably good enough to be in the deck. Spark Mage Apprentice. It's good. It kills 1/1s. Stormcrow. Not terrible. Not great. But you're a fast deck, and he doesn't really put out the power that he should. So I feel like maybe he comes out. Again, we're a fast deck. Turn the Tide just does not fit in. It's cool, it's good, but we are a burn deck. You're not worried about making your opponent's creatures weaker. You're worried about hitting your opponent as hard as you can. Aether Trade Winds is a great card. You just have to find out when to use it right. Some of the games I have recorded, you'll see me use it correctly. When your opponent enchants you with your creature with something, and you use it to bounce like a land in your creature so that their enchantment dies, they're behind a land. So yeah, generally a good card there. Arc Runner, I feel like is a little weak, just because he doesn't have trample. I mean, if your opponent has no creatures out turn 3 and you hit him with them, yeah, that's awesome. But for now, he'll be out of the deck. Ball Lightning, obviously, 3 red for a 6/1 trampling haste creature that dies at the end step. Electropotence, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 3 if you do deal damage equal to its power to target creature or player. Probably not right now. We really don't have that many big scary creatures in the deck, especially since like this is a 0/1, this is a 1/3, and this is good enough to play, especially now that lightning bolts are unlocked in the deck. 2/2s for 3 flying aren't bad. A 4/1 haste for 4 isn't bad. I mean, this is the comparison. These two compared to these two. I just feel like this is better because it doesn't die. So if your opponent doesn't get anything out turn 4, turn 5, this is one of your few ways to deal with creatures. It's not a really good way to deal with creatures, but you can use it with the creatures that have to be sacked at the end step. Skizit is a great card. Trample haste at the beginning of your end step. Sack him unless he's kicked. So, if you get a little bit extra, you can keep him out. Murder of Crows, whenever another creature dies, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Not bad, not good. 4 mana cost to draw a card and deal 4 damage. Good enough. Attacks, then draw a card and discard a card. Gets plus X where discards cards convert mana cost. It's really good. These are absolute crap. That's absolute crap. Now, there was a lot of hype about this card when it first came out, and I want to tell you guys why I don't play it ever. And I was never part of the hype. Each player shuffles his or her hand and graveyard into his or her library, then draws 7 cards. Okay, great if you're top decking. Here's the problem. It doesn't reset lands, and you don't take an extra turn. You pay 5, probably tap yourself out, to let your opponent draw 7 cards and go. They now have the first opportunity to play cards with 7. Terrible. Mahamodi Jin. Good. He's a big butt. That's about the only reason he's in there. Whenever you draw a card, deals 1 damage to target creature or player, tap, draw a card. He's great. Great. Enters the battlefield, tap all other creatures. Once again, also great. And enters the battlefield, it deals 3 damage to each creature without flying. This is your only mass removal, and it costs 7. So that has to stay in there. So let's go back through here and get rid of the cards that we don't like. Shall we? I feel like these are super situational. Yeah, they're cool to block and sack and be like, oh, hey, I can kill something. So, I mean, they're a little tricky, but this is one card I would take out. Our curve's high enough now because I've been having a problem with mana, and right now we're playing 28 lands. So, yeah. That's a very, very expensive. I mean, I don't play 28 lands in a control deck. I've played 26. So, there are a lot of lands in there right now. So let's go back down here and get rid of some of the cards that are a little bit more questionable. This is good because it gets creatures first strike and lets you kill stuff. Reverberate, again, I don't know if you have enough instants or sorceries that are like that game breaking. It's going to be like, oh, hey, let me play this and pay 2 more to lightning bolt you again. So I feel like that's going to come out. I feel like you don't have enough instants or sorceries, period, to play him at all. I mean, he's great with lightning bolts and shocks and these. So maybe. I'm going to take out 2 of these wild drakes or wind drakes. This is obviously a good way to keep control of those little 1/1 creatures, because you can just be like, oh, ping 1, Aether Trade wins, bounce a card, or bounce one of your tokens, bounce the land, ping another one. I mean, it's a good way to get rid of a mass amount of creatures, as assuming they're all 1/1s. Spark Elementals, again, are too good to take out. We talked about taking that out. It's going to get taken out, because its 5 life is not going to help you, because you are a burn deck. Your goal is to deal as much damage as possible, as quickly as possible. Now, the reason that I'm keeping these in here is they're slightly control-ish, and these ones are card advantage cards. Not really card advantage cards, but they let you get rid of those crappy-ass lands. But we're down to 63 cards. What do I want to take out? We're down to 26 lands, which is a lot better. But I need to get rid of, I think, 2 more cards, I think, is what we need before we get those out. So maybe the other 2 flyers? I mean, they really have no purpose, do they? Except to just be 2/2s for 3 mana. So, I think that'll be the deck. Then we'll do 2 lightning bolts, 1 lightning serpent, 3 shocks, 2 spark elementals, 3 into the royal, 2 spark mage apprentice, 2 of the thunder strike, 2 Aether Trade Winds, 1 Ball Lightning, 2 of the Electrodes, 2 Wee Dragonauts, 2 Lightning Elementals, 2 Skurstag Cultist, and 1 Skizit, 2 Air Servants, 2 Murder of Crows, Spellbound Dragon, Niv Mizzet, the Firemind, Thundermare, and Thunder Dragon. So that'll be the list. I'm going to go ahead and play one game with these now that I have them. The deck's a lot more red now than I thought it was going to be, but 9 and 16, that's a lot. But we really don't have that many double blues until we get to the 5 mana cost cards. So I think that'll be okay, actually. So we're going to save this. I'm going to go play one game with the finished deck, which I haven't been doing with a lot of the other decks. It's just been up to the point that I was going to finish it. So that way I get another thing with Ral, and we'll be back in just a minute.